Hi there, I am Svila Bekin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share and subscribe, ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I want to talk once again about Gareth Roberts and say once again, I do indeed stand with Gareth Roberts. This is the second video I've made on the subject and I really didn't think I'd make one. And I posted the first one and there was quite a lot of conversation and some of it kind of bonkers online in social media. But it helped me crystallize my feelings and concretize my feelings, and so now I have a much greater level of clarity of how and where I stand and why I stand that way. So let me just catch you up if you don't know anything about the story. Gareth Roberts is a Doctor Who writer. He's written a bunch of Doctor Who episodes. He's been TV episodes. He's been a Doctor Who fan all his life. He's been writing Doctor Who books. Some of those books were adapted into radio plays, audio books by Big Finish. They're very, very good, by the way. I would check them out. The English Way of Death and The Romance of Crime. Two Tom Baker stories, which are really just excellent. They're so much fun. And he's written, comic books. And he's a bona fide Doctor Who fan and has been his entire life. So he was commissioned to write a short story for the Target storybook, I believe it's called, by BBC Books. But he was paid for it, but his story was removed from the book because he had caused outrage, a egregious outrage, but from people who say they represent the trans community. I somewhat doubt they do. I doubt they actually care genuinely about anyone, because I will call these people a vile Twitter mob if I was going to call them anything. It's I don't like using the term SJW. I think it's a derogatory term. It's not a nice way to talk about people. So I don't know quite how to describe them. Progressive liberals, that's not really true either. They are they're a kind of racketeering group with no discernible goals or aims. They're not even after money. They're just after control. And they are a cancer. They are a horrible cancer that infects a host body, takes it over completely, and then kills it, strangles it to death. It's they did that with the YA novel industry. The YA novels now make less than half, I believe, than what they used to make 5 years ago, because they have totally taken it over. They make all these demands which are increasingly changing. You have to have diversity readers, and the YA book industry just capitulated them completely on everything. With the result, it's an industry that's been decimated. They've taken over the comic book industry. I think the goal is to reshape the culture into their image, which is why they go after these cultural, not icons, these cultural lampposts. Marvel and DC have both been pretty much taken over by them. The entertainment industry, to a certain extent, there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on there, equally vile. And they're in Doctor Who. They're in the Doctor Who fandom, and there are a number of them who are genuinely Doctor Who fans. But I think they're a very small minority, because they're just the worst human beings on the face of the earth. I mean, at least with terrorists or with Nazis or Pol Pot, they had people who were. It was a pursuit of power or money, but this is just control, complete dominance and control. So that's who it is. So they demanded that Gareth Roberts be removed. And either BBC Books is a part of this Twitter outrage mob, or they're terrified by them. Either way, his work was removed. So this one of the central claims against him is nonsense. Is absolute nonsense. In my estimation, it's that he doesn't feel that sex is mutable or gender is fluid, except in a tiny minority of cases. So for for this Twitter mob, they say that he is denying a trans person's existence. They're denying their right to live, which is not. I see no difference between stating that opinion, which is a reasonably science-based opinion. Well, at least sex not being mutable. If gender is fluid, that's at best a theory, and it's quite a populist thing right now, which brings with it a remarkable amount of social currency, which is valuable. And you will get career advancement if you wield that, especially in the entertainment industry. So again, I see no difference between saying that that's your feeling, that's your belief, and saying to a Christian that you don't believe that Jesus is the Savior or the Messiah. Now if you know Christians, that is endemic to their worldview. It's part of every part of the worldview. Or if you say to anybody, person of faith, that that God doesn't exist, or the Bible is a bunch of silly fairy stories, which is meant to demean. Now, I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't be going around saying that. I'm saying you should. If that's what you think, you should be able to say that. But it's not denying someone's existence. Equally saying that you don't think gender to be fluid, you're not denying someone's existence. You have your thoughts. You have your own opinion, and one is allowed to express opinion but not to these vile Twitter mobs that want to shut down any debate that goes contra to what they want to think, because they want to dominate and control the world, and which I think is a bad thing. The second part of their complaint against him is that in the 80s he's gay. Gareth Roberts is gay, and he was in a LBGT group, and he referred to themselves as as queers and trannies, right? So they said that's a pejorative insult. That's like the N-word. I don't think so, and I don't. Yeah, firstly, he seems to be like he was talking to himself. Queers and trannies. He was a queer, which was a derogatory term in the 80s. But I think there is genuine contention between the LGB part of that community and the T part of that community, because the LGB part of that community, it's in my living memory, that in the Western world it was illegal to have not same-sex marriage, same-sex relations. You could be put in prison for it. And so they've had a real journey. They've had a real struggle, which they've overcome. It's moved from being legal to being completely socially acceptable. Nobody cares what one's sexuality is. I'm a rabbi. I say this all the time in my podcast. I'm a rabbi, which means I believe my morality comes from a Judeo-Christian morality. It's based in the Old Testament. And so, obviously, I think that same-sex relations is problematic. But who cares? That's just what I think. If you evaluate a person on one thing that's completely socially acceptable, like if I'm going to tell you that I think that person is evil because he's gay, I'm a dick. Or you know what? I'm going to teach you a Jewish word. I'm a schmuck. If I say that, I would be a schmuck. Because you would be a schmuck. Because if you don't value people on these incredibly superficial criteria, on the color of their skin, on their ethnicity, on their worldview, on their beliefs, people are complicated. People are full of 100 different things going on all at once. And generally speaking, people are good and people are wonderful. All around the world, no matter where you are, people are genuinely good and want to do good. So, but again, not to these Twitter outrage mobs. If you fit into this box, you are this, and you have no way of not being that. And the truth is, when the trans community became a force, it was right after the same-sex marriage debate ended. When the trans community became a force and they demanded trans rights, whatever you want to call it, they achieved it almost instantly, very, very differently from the lesbian, gay, and bi community, which they struggled for decades and were imprisoned and had to fight for it. The trans community achieved acceptability, and society offered to completely reshape itself to make them comfortable. Again, at a drop of a hat, almost instantly. So I think there is a genuine resentment there between those two parts of the LGBTQ community, which I think is what, if there is animosity coming from Roberts, I think it's coming from that, and I think it's probably legitimate because these Twitter mobs do complain on behalf of the trans community very, very easily at the drop of a hat, and their complaints are normally utterly ridiculous. And as I've said many times, I think they're not based in trying to help anyone. I think they're based in wanting to gain complete control and dominance. So, I think we need to send a message, a message to BBC Books, who again are either complicit to this mob or they are part of the mob, and just say, we don't think this will stand. If you agree with me, say, I don't think this is right. I don't think this should stand. So copy and paste the post here that said hashtag I stand with Gareth Roberts, hashtag boycott the boycott the Target storybook. Just copy and paste that. Take 10 seconds out of your life to do it, and maybe we can make a difference. Maybe not. And you know what? If you disagree with me and you are part of that mob, do the same. You will do the same. Do the same thing. Make your own hashtag. See how it goes. That. It's a free world. I know you don't want it to be a free world, but it's a free world. Or at least it still is right now. My name is Phila Beckin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.